Hello, this is Mad Cat, the angry egalitarian that discusses this and that. Today is another edition of Mad Cat Smash Feminists 22, where we discuss the stupid things feminists say. And remember, there's a reason why things exist the way they are. It's not patriarchy, it's not sexism. It has a lot to do with choices women make. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. My computer wasn't being stupid this time. So, Ariana Grande and her mom just made an important feminist statement. Like mother, like daughter. Am I supposed to know who the fuck these people are? I'm guessing it's these two right here that's mother and daughter. I'm assuming this is a guy with the facial hair, but the way some militant lesbians are these days, you can never be too sure. I'm sure he's a gender fluid fucklord, though. I mean, he's probably banging mother and daughter. I mean, look at him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get lucky today with my mangina. Okay, I'm being mean, but... So, don't really give a shit about any of this. Ariana wasn't done there, so apparently she gave some sort of amazing feminist statement, and there was a billion feminists that had an orgasm at the exact same time. As she and her mom recently hit Twitter with a 1-2 punch of a point after Joan Grande noticed something very concerning at her local newsstand. Women's interest, men's interest. What's wrong with this picture? Well, let's see. How about the fact that you are showing 19 magazines here and you're showing about 10 magazines here? Makes me wonder what other magazines are over here and what other magazines are over here. Now, I understand you're trying to get the sign in place here, but I can't help but wonder if there's something you're hiding as well. So she asks, what's wrong with this picture? Ariana, oh, so women are only interested in tabloids, and if I want to read about cars, business, science, and I have to go to the men's section. Yes. Yes, you do. So proud. So many of you got the point. It's 2015. This must stop. Awareness is the only way. I may just want to read about yachting or cars. Well, then go and pick it up. What's the problem? Because it's in a men's section? That's what you have a problem with? Because you have to walk 2 extra steps just to go pick up a magazine that is primarily purchased by men. Oh, your poor little feet. You must be tired from having to walk so far just to read about yachting. Maybe, and just I'm throwing this out there, if you want to read about yachting, you order a subscription. It gets delivered to your home, and you generally get it for a cheaper price, too, than the newsstand as well. And then it's at your luxury of reading it. You don't have to walk very far because it's already on your coffee table. And then that way you can save your delicate little feet from having to walk so far just to read a magazine that you probably are not actually going to buy. You just want to bitch because you're a stupid cunt. So proud. And I know many men who are going to the magazine section for Cosmo or Vogue or Elle. Really? There are a lot of men who are doing that? Oh, good for them. And are their little feet, or probably big feet, are their big feet tired from having to walk 2 extra steps just to find a Cosmo or a Vogue or an Elle. By the way, I ask you, where's the car magazine? She wants to read a car magazine, yet it couldn't get into the picture. You know, I understand trying to get the sign in there, but you could have taken a picture of the full thing and put it with it. You could put up to 4 pictures on here because I've seen it before, and that way people can pick through. And instead of showing what it actually is, you're trying to support a narrative of how you're disenfranchised, how you're being oppressed by what options you have in your section. And most of this is just pointless, but I want to jump to this right here. By the way, if you are in watching now, which I guess there are 0 people watching right now, if you're watching now, go ahead and leave a comment and I'll try to read it. So, what are the magazines that women are reading? Now, yes, they make these magazines, but they're also based on what women want to read. These magazines are successful because people are buying them, and they do a lot of research and trying to figure out what it is that people want from their magazines. And a lot of this is targeted towards women because most men don't read this kind of stuff. Yes, there are men who do, but the majority of their audience is female, so they're catering to that female demographic. And guess what? This is what women want. People, Us Weekly, gossip magazines, Cosmopolitan. It's a little bit of everything. It's gossip and trying to be risque with some of its stuff. Health. Real Simple. It's kind of a lifestyle magazine. Better Home, lifestyle magazine. Elle, kind of like Cosmopolitan. Actually, I'm not very familiar with Elle. Martha Stewart Living, lifestyle magazine. Harper's Bazaar, probably like Cosmo. Vanity Fair. You know, I've heard of Vanity Fair, but I'm not really sure what it is. I always thought it was like a penny publication. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Shows you how often I actually pay attention to women's magazines. Let's take a look at men's magazines. What do we have here? Men's Fitness, Men's Health, GQ, Esquire, Muscle and Fitness, Runners, Men's Journal, Maxim. You noticing a pattern? I mean, Maxim is kind of like the male equivalent to Cosmo. Details, FHM. I'm not familiar with Details here. FHM is kind of like Maxim. Now, of course, these are just the top 10 magazines. There are a large variety of magazines that men and women read. But, you know, trying to tell me that this is just the problem of the world and, you know, we need to change this. This is based entirely on sales. If you want to change anything, you got to convince women to stop buying girly magazines and start buying men's magazines. Or, and this is just really out there, how about you make your own fucking magazine and get this, put into it what you want to read, and maybe others will buy it. Oh my God, that requires you to actually do something. We've already established you don't want to walk 2 feet to just get a magazine. All right, let's move on to our next article. Men, quit being freaked out by feminism and join its male allies. So basically, she's going to go to this conference. This is Rachel Bell. and they're going to discuss an end to male violence against women is one of the key priorities that has energized the fourth wave of feminism. Really? What was the contributions of third wave? To demonize men for everything? Feminists have struggled to end the male violence pretty much on their own. When I say feminists, I mean women and girls who are awake to this global pandemic that the media treats as unrelated incidents. No, they kind of treat them serious. You remember Save Our Girls? Boko Haram murdered boys months prior. No one gave a shit. Oh, but they kidnap girls and they might get raped. We need to be there for the girls. Release our girls. Let's take military actions. But boys dying in a fire while they're alive? Oh, no, we don't need to worry about that. But we need to stop the violence against women. I mean, women who never want to see another teenage girl raped by her boyfriend, wives battered by their husbands, women fleeing, stalking ex partners who want them dead. I mean, rape crisis, women charities, and the refugees, women campaigning for sex and relationship education, while hardcore porn fills the gap. Women who are academics, artists, and activists. We work our asses off through the pain as many of us have been broken by male violence. Yet, isn't this all rather strange? Male violence is a problem with men, so why is it sidelined as a woman's issue? Where are the men standing by us? Well, because we're dealing with our own issues of male violence by females. Female perpetrated violence on males that gets ignored, and it does. You, in fact, ignore it because you're like, well, where are the men doing whatever? Where are the community voices speaking out against the violent men who kill two women a week and leave their children motherless? Well, where are the women where the men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide, that make up 90% of worker-related death, who are denied access to their own children? Where are the mothers for the children that will most likely grow up to be a criminal deviant because they're in a fatherless home, which studies have shown time and time again that if you don't have a father figure there with the mother figure, a child is not going to develop properly. Where are all the women? You want to talk about where the men are at? I think it's only fair I say, where the fuck are the women? Women only care about themselves. The feminists only care about themselves. And yeah, there are some good women out there, especially the Honey Badger Brigade, that do care about men and care about the shit that they have to go through. Then there's the White Ribbon Campaign that get men involved by ending sexual violence, often getting sports teams to pledge. It's headed up by Chris Green, a man for whom no question is too small, have always been a strong presence at the conference. This year, they're running a workshop on gender and the arts, debating how limiting stereotypical film roles for women and a minority of women directors influence gender-based violence. Another, Men's Sexism and Patriarchy, run by the Men's Development Network, will address the unaware sexism men carry, identify how patriarchy benefits and deficient men, and show men how to stop being sexist, engaging men in feminism, looks at the stereotypes and misconceptions underlining modern masculinity. Participants will leave knowing how to talk to boys and men in their lives about the presence to act in certain ways and how to express their whole selves. So it's a propaganda class. We want to teach you how to teach other men and boys how to act according to the feminist narrative and to ignore their own problems. The Great Men team have delivered school workshops on gender equality, masculinity, and violence prevention to 3,000 teenage boys since the project began 2 years ago. Another workshop, Men as Carers, asks if men as fathers can contribute to the well-being and women's empowerment. If boys need male role models to grow into caring, nonviolent adults. Yes, they actually do. Studies actually show that boys and girls need men in their lives as fathers as much as they need a woman as mothers. Whatever dynamic the men and women have, they both need to be there for the child. And yet, where's the outrage that many men want to be with their children and a woman can decide, nope, I want full custody, and she gets it? In fact, there was a law trying to be passed that when it came to custody rights, it should start at 50-50 shared custody. And feminists fought against this, and the law got denied. That it always starts with the woman, and we have to scale back from there if a man gets any visitation rights whatsoever. Terrence Popp has stated that 75 to 80% of all child custody cases end with women getting full custody. And most of the men who end up getting it is because a woman doesn't show up. Men want to be there for children. They want to be fathers. November 25 is International Day of Elimination of Violence Against Women. Good luck on that. Because let me tell you something. Reducing violence, that's all well and fine. And we should be doing it for both men and women, since men actually face more violence than women do. But you don't really care about that, do you? Because it's not about ending violence. It's just about empowering women to be above men. But there is no such thing as eliminating violence. Because so long as a society exists, there will always be violence. We can try to find ways to reduce it, and that's a very noble cause. But to just say, well, we want to eliminate it once and for all, you are on crack. Why do we need it? The website has all the sorry statistics. The fact that 1 in 3 girls and women will experience some form of physical or sexual violence in their lifetime, which has been debunked a lot. This is a problem with ordinary men, powerful men, famous men, with schoolboys accounting for 5,500 sexual assaults, including 600 rapes in the last 3 years. As revealed by the BBC Freedom of Information investigation last month. Well, 5,500 sexual assaults and 600 rapes in the last 3 years. And yet you're saying 1 in 3 girls will experience some form of physical or sexual violence. Well, that's nowhere equating to the numbers. Honestly. I mean, how are you deriving that numbers if the one that you're naming is actually pretty low? I mean, you're talking about 200 rapes every year in the UK, and the UK is a pretty big place. And if there really was a problem, that number would be much higher. And while 1 rape is too many, I agree, 200 is not exactly a pandemic. Or 5,500 sexual assaults in a 3-year period. If we bump that up to 6,000, that's 2,000 per year. And you're not even looking at the ones that men face either. Maybe it's not as much as women, but if 1 rape is too many for women, then 1 rape is too many for boys. And it's been found that 80% of boys and men that raped were themselves raped by their mothers or by women they knew. So you want to stop rape for women, then teach women not to rape. So most of this is just like how you can stop and blah, blah, blah. It's really pointless in all honesty. It's just more of the same things we've grown to expect. But let's look at some of the comments. There's no one in my chat right now. Kind of saddening, but oh well. I mean, people have seen my other videos. They probably are done with me today, and that's cool. I hope other people enjoy these videos. Matt Hayes, or Matty Hayes. Feminists, quit calling all men potential rapists, abusers, wife batters, etc., and actually listen to our grievances instead of blanket accusing all of those that stand up for the rights of men and boys. And then we'll talk. Nathan Weather, what's your grievances? Wifey too slow to dinner, getting dinner to the table? Oh, fuck you. MRAs do stand up for the rights of men and boys. The trouble is they tend to be the right to rape and right to lie to women about their intentions, and prohibits the to shut up college kids due to the lack of success with dating, or to shoot up college kids with dating females they obviously hold in contempt as biological inferiors. I think she's just a shit poster. I don't think she actually believes this, or if she does, she needs some mental help. But, let's get some proof out there, Shane Whitmore, I really want to find this guy because he has some very interesting things to say on here. Maddie Hayes, and what MRAs would they be? Names, please. Because if there are those that promote such things at the right to rape women or other things you mentioned, then we do not wish to have them as a part of our movement. And besides, there are plenty of feminists who have advocated for violence towards men and boys. Valerie Salinas springs to mind. Andrea Dworkin is another. And those who have sincerely proposed mass genocide to reduce our numbers to 1/10 of the population. And then Prentice Reed, Vicky, I believe Maddie asked you to name some which are supposed MRAs, and I'm the second MRA who's going to challenge you to prove that any MRA has ever said that. You've had hours to respond. Now, what's actually happening here is that Vicky is actually responding to these, and for some reason, the comments have been removed. I don't know if the website did this or Vicky herself did this. And it's actually mentioned here that it happened. Where was it? Anyways, I know I saw it here, but so I think she did it herself since she still has comments other places. Men are considerably more likely than women to be victims of violence. Men get longer prison sentences than women for the same crimes. Men are given less rights in courts and child custody cases. Money put towards prostate cancer is dwarfed by breast cancer despite causing similar numbers of death. Men die younger and are more likely to commit suicide or have drug, alcohol problems. Yet do we hear you campaigning for any of that? It's very true. So if you happen to this article, definitely check out. Ooh, I think I know Jack Barnes, or at least I've seen him. I don't know if he's an ally or not. I apologize if you're seeing this, Jack Barnes, and we are allies, and I've just forgotten. Or if we're enemies, then I'm not really sorry. I recognize the name in the picture, so I don't know where I've seen it, though. Probably Twitter or Skype. Who knows? I have a bad memory. All right, so that does it for me on these two. I'm going to upload another video in just a few minutes. I thank you for joining me on this. Sorry that we couldn't get any comments in the chat. I thoroughly enjoy those. Once again, if you like the videos that I do, if you want to see them get better, if you want to help me out with my medical issues so I could try to become a productive member of society, consider donating to my Patreon. I have 297 followers. If each of them gave just $1, I could get the help I need. If you're not comfortable using Patreon, consider checking out my Smash Words link down below. It is to my free ebook. However, I just released the next book in that series because that acts as more of a prologue. The actual book has been released. It is for $2.99. If you're not comfortable doing Patreon, considering purchasing that book, because if I get people who can purchase it, rate it, and give honest reviews of it, it can actually help me get better search results and actually helps my career. And, you know, I make money off of that. So if you don't want to do Patreon, consider buying my book. It'll greatly help me out. And of course, if you buy my book, I really hope you enjoy it because I want to continue writing as I enjoy it. One of the few careers I do, and I really love when people talk about my stories. So anyways, I'll be doing a video in a couple of minutes. So I will see you then. This is Mad Cat signing off.